did you have instant success? Did you have struggles? Like, how did you work on building your business at that time? Because,
Mhm.
I got in 2011. Really 2012 was like my first full year in the
Yeah.
business. We were still coming out of, 08, 09, still dealing with some of
Mhm.
that. 2015, I found like that's really when a lot of the foreclosure started to really slow down. The short sales started to
Mhm.
disappear. Obviously, the market started to pick up and just keep building up to what it is today. But what were your first couple years like, and how did you focus on growing your business?
So this is where I'm really lucky because with my background in marketing, I already had a leg up that a lot of people don't. So what I did is I so 2015 was the 25th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers. So I and my previous initials were SMB for Super Mario Brothers, which I always thought was funny.
That's funny.
And so I made a postcard that emulated the world at the end of the castle where, at the end of
Yeah,
each
yeah,
level, you try to save the princess, but she's moved on and you move to another world. And so that's what I did. I actually paid for the Super Mario Brothers font and created my own postcard that said, I've moved on to another world. And I mailed that card to everybody I knew.
oh my gosh.
Like my whole Christmas card list, because I'm still old school and send Christmas cards. And, the reaction I got from that, first of all, because like for my generation, everybody knew immediately what that was.
Right.
But it really made that first impression that I was now in real estate as a realtor.
Mm.
And I continued to do social media wasn't as big as 2015. I mean Facebook was around and stuff, but not to the extent it is today.
Yeah.
And no Insta. Sorry, folks. Um, but I really started with that old school, the paper. And I started in September. So I mailed that out. Excuse me. I mailed that out in September and then, followed it up with another marketing piece around the holidays and really just keeping my name out there.
Hmm.
My first lead, well, actually, my first listing, I owe to one of my colleagues that was at Talon. She referred me a friend of hers that it was going back to the bank. She was trying to sell it before they foreclosed. And I wish I knew then what I know now. I would have bought the darn thing myself. But it ended up not closing. It went back to the bank. I couldn't get it in contract because what she owed, we couldn't. I mean, we got
Right.
all, she couldn't go
Right.
that low. And but what happened is I got a call on the internet from somebody who wanted to see it, and I showed it to them, and it wasn't the place for them, but they really liked me. The couple liked me, and I ended up selling them their house. And then they referred me to a coworker, and that was my second buyer.
Yeah.
And I mean, but it took about
Yeah.
6 months for my first closing. Matter of fact, it closed December 29th, and I got paid just in time to pay the real estate dues for 2015. And that's exactly about how much money I made. I was like, woo!
Yeah. Yeah. I can go another year, right?
Yep, like, all right, I made it. Like, I'm gonna break even for this year.
Yeah.
Not even break even, because by the time you pay taxes, it didn't break
Right.
even. But it was and that was my first taste of success, was that I had that buyer. And I mean, that sales price was I think 103,000, but I was like, all right, I can do this. It kind of gave me, I mean, I sold a house to somebody I didn't know.
Right.
That was my first. They just met me, liked me, and I was honest with them. I told them, I'm like, I'm new. And they're like, we
Yeah.
don't care. We've never bought a house either. I'm like, okay, great. And at closing, they gave me a gift. I mean, I had a gift for them, but I mean, they gave me this beautiful scarf. I still have it. Bottle of wine. It's long gone. Um, and then and kind of like with what Joel had told me, 4 or 5 years later, they I had stayed in contact with
Yeah.
them. We're connected on social media now. And when they were ready to sell, they called me.
Yeah.
So, I think that was the first, 6 months. And then from there, it just kind of snowballed. But I mean, it wasn't like you see online. Like I wasn't making 100K in
Right.
my first year.
Right.
I think I closed enough deals. I was around like 15 to 20, but it was enough, right? Like it's real estate isn't a get rich quick type
Yeah.
thing that a lot of people think it is. And that's when I've met with other people thinking about getting into it. I'm like, there's a lot to think about because you need to be able. I mean, I was blessed. I had my husband, I wasn't just doing it on my own. I had his health insurance. And we had saved, we had taken Joel's advice and definitely set money back and things like that. But yeah, I would say probably about that year 3 is when I really hit my stride. 2017, 2018 were fantastic years for me. Um, and Joel was right. 3 years was about when it really started becoming, I don't know if I want to use the word easy, but it definitely
Sure.
started flowing.
Yeah, the momentum was built, right? And
Yes.
now it's, maintaining it or growing it. And that's why I talk to a lot of agents, it's the a lot it's like a rocket ship. A lot of the effort in the beginning is going to be a lot greater when you
Mhm.
get into the business. But then it's all about, once it's going, maintaining it and keeping it going,
Mhm.
and not stopping and starting and stopping and starting, because the effort to start it every single time is so great that that's where a lot of people get frustrated. Whereas if you just do a lot of that hard work up front and build that momentum, and then it becomes, like you said, not easier, but it comes easier to
Mhm.
continue to build your business from there. I want